Hey there, so today we're going to be talking about the housing market and what it is doing in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we are going to hop into it right now. Here, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. This channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below so you don't miss our weekly videos. We hear from people like you all the time who are relocating or looking to make a move here to Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about making a move in a month, in 6 months, in a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our pleasure to connect with you. I have been getting loads, I'm talking loads and loads, tons and tons of questions about, Mariah, what is the real estate market looking like right now in Salt Lake? And so honestly, I started writing down all these questions that I have been frequently asked. And so today I'm going to just go ahead, I'm going to share some questions with you that I am getting about the real estate market here in Utah. And then I'm going to let you know what we are seeing here. So this is going to be kind of like a little Q&A. And we're going to just hop right into it. So I'm going to read one of the questions that I've gotten, and then I'm going to give you the answers to what we know right now and kind of the projection of where we're seeing things and what's happening. So question number one is the Utah housing market slowing down? Well, great question. I have been getting this question a lot lately. What we have seen recently is home sales have fallen about 10% this last year in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. And, you know, things have been increasing. But across the 5 main counties here around Salt Lake City, Utah, we have seen about a 10% decrease in that housing increase. So yes, things have started, and what usually people say here in the real estate market is, yes, things have softened. So yes, but there has been a decrease. So that's number one. Number two, the question is Salt Lake City right now, is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Well, for the last couple of years here in Utah, it has been a seller's market. Sellers have not been able to put their house on the market without getting multiple offers. However, that has shifted, that has changed. We are noticing more now that it is becoming more of a buyer's market, where buyers are able to be a lot more selective. Buyers are able to not waive all of their contingencies. They are able to do their appraisals. They are able to, to be able to take time to actually think about this house that they are purchasing, which many buyers right now, they are being more selective than they have in the past because they have more time to do their due diligence. They have more time to shop around. And because interest rates, which we'll get to in a little bit here, because interest rates have increased, some of the buyers that originally would have been able to afford something at that price point may now be looking for something else, or they might be in a different price point just because interest rates have increased, and that has caused them to not be able to afford certain things that maybe they would have before. All right, question number 3 that I have also recently got. This question is, what is actually going on in the Utah housing market? So I kind of touched on this one briefly before, but what we are seeing is house prices and house sales have started to decline a little bit here in Utah. And I've got something that says, compared to June 2021, the number of house sales have dropped 10% according to the Utah Association of Realtors. The overall price of a home in Utah, though, is still up 17%. However, even though it's up 17%, it was up 28% at one point in 2021. So It's up 17%, but it's not up the 28% like it was before. So it looks like it's declining a little bit, but relative to what it was, in 2021, where prices just kept increasing, home sales have declined slightly by about that 10%. So that's the next question. Number 4, why is Utah's house market so high? Like, what has happened all of a sudden that has made Utah's housing prices and the housing market gone a little bit crazy, right? This is what people have wanted to ask and are wanting to know as well. Well, because the supply and because of the demand, obviously the supply and demand, it goes back to economics, but because the demand, so many people are moving here from out of state or just moving here, and you've got other people that are looking to buy homes. This is causing that increase of homes, and people are needing to find a home and buy a home. And because of that, the market has gotten a lot hotter because of just that demand for it, and the supply has been low. The builders have not been able to build enough homes fast enough in order to get all of these buyers in their houses. So a lot of house builders have had waiting lists. I mean, I know I've helped clients get into certain new builds, and for some of them it's a year out, some of them it's a year and a half out, some you're just getting on a wait list to get a lot, and then as they are able to finish the projects, then they can move on to the next thing. So it really all goes back to supply and demand for this. Number 5, people keep asking, Mariah, why are so many people moving to Utah? And I remember I got this one so much, Mariah, why would you move from California to Utah? I'm like, I know. Well, here are a few different things. Lower cost of living, number 1. The tax rates, number 2. The overall quality of life, number 3. People are moving here. Job opportunities, people are moving here for jobs. People are moving here just for the outdoors, for the space, for the yards, for the recreation, for the the world-class snow that's here. So there are so many different reasons that people are moving here. Some people have told me, hey, you know what? I'm in, a blue state and I want to move to a red state. People have told me, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a, more family-friendly environment. Utah seems like it's going to be the right place for me. I've heard other people say, where I was living before, the crime rate was a little bit higher. Utah seems like it's going to be way safer for me and my family. So a lot of different reasons of why people are moving out here to Utah, but those are just a few. Question number 6 that I have gotten actually from a few people recently is, Mariah, I'm thinking about selling my home right now, but I'm not exactly sure if now is the best time to sell. Well, depending on your needs and your situation and all of that, it may or may not be a good time for you to sell. But here's what I can tell you. This is what I can tell you is that because the supply of homes and homes on the market is still lower than what it was a couple years ago, that there is still demand for homes. Yes, we have seen an increase in inventory, definitely. And like I said, buyers are able to be more selective, but with interest rates continuing to increase, it may be advantageous for you to sell now. As interest rates continue to increase, those home prices will usually soften. So again, and then rents have also increased, but depending on what you purchased your house for, it may not make sense for you to hold on to that and to try to do a long-term rental or to try to do short-term rental, depending on the area you're in. Some areas and neighborhoods will allow it, others will not. You will need to check with the city to make sure that you're in compliance with that. But again, now is still a good time to sell if it ends up working for you and your needs and your situation. But the Utah housing market, they definitely still need more homes on the market. So if you're thinking about selling and the situation makes sense for you, let's chat. number 7, the question that I have also gotten recently with regards to the housing market and everything here in Salt Lake City is now a good time to buy a house? Well, if you were buying a house, let's just say a year ago, and interest rates were at 3% or even 2 or anywhere between 2 and 4% that you were able to get, we were seeing here in Utah multiple offers on a home. We were seeing well over ask price. We were seeing, we were seeing escalation clauses where people would take whatever somebody's highest is, and then they would add to what their price was. And so they could do an escalation clause. We were also seeing people waiving all of their inspections, their home inspection. People were waiving appraisals. They were paying cash. Really all the stops were out. And so as a buyer at that time, sometimes buyers right now are thinking like, well, Mariah, if interest rates right now are 5.5% or 6.5%, I can't get into a house, or I'm paying so much more because of that interest rate. Well, a lot of times here we end up saying is marry the house and date the rate. And let me explain what that means. Basically, if you are able to get into a house and you like the house, you like the neighborhood, you want to be in that house, you purchase the house, and then that interest rate that you have, the chances, let's just say that you've got a 30-year fixed mortgage on that home. Let's just say within the next 30 years, I don't know this, but there is a good chance, I love looking at history and I love looking at numbers, so there's a good chance that interest rate will go back down and that you will be able to refinance that for a lower interest rate within that time span. So as we are looking here in Salt Lake, we are noticing that rent prices continue to increase, and we have seen that across the board, that rents just continue to go up and up. If you are able to purchase a house and it makes sense for you and your finances, then right now might be a great time for you, because where we're at, most buyers right now are not having to compete with multiple offers. You are not having to waive your inspections. You are not having to waive your appraisals. And if you are thinking about going the new home route, or, building a new home, here in Utah, there are so many new home builders that are giving gigantic incentives right now. I mean, I am talking big, big incentives for you. A lot of new home builders are doing rate locks. So they are able to lock you in on a specific interest rate that, would be a lot better than maybe what it will be in a year from now when your build is complete. They are offering a lot of, like I said, lender incentives, but they're also offering different incentives with like design and different upgrades, different things that within the last couple of years, we have not seen that at all. So if you're thinking about going the new build route, that might, in purchasing, that might be a good route for you to go. If you're thinking about a resale, that might be also a good route. But again, only you would know with your finances and situation. I work with a lot of fantastic lenders. So if you're thinking, you know what, I kind of just want to crunch some numbers. I don't actually know if I do qualify, or I don't know with my situation now. I own a house, but I would be contingent on selling that home. I've got some great people on my team that we work with, and we would be able to help you figure out like, yeah, you know what, now makes sense. Or, hey, you know what, it's not going to work right now, but maybe in 6 months from now or a year from now, let's circle back and chat. So that's what we are seeing right here, right now in the Salt Lake City, Utah housing market. If you are thinking about making a move out here to the Utah area, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you, to work with you, and figure out, hey, you know what, this is a good time for me to buy, or this is a good time for me to sell, or nope, I am holding on and now's not the right time. But if we have a conversation, we will be able to figure that out pretty quickly. And hopefully you found some value in that. Take care and have a great one. Bye.